Hello and welcome back to another video where I talk about my top indie comics coming out for this new comic book day. Got a great top 10 list for you this week as always. So, let's get into it. First up on the list, I have one from Mad Cave Studios in the number 10 spot, and this is Tales from Nottingham number 3 from Sabs Cooper and Federico Bertoni in 1191 made Marion Fitzwalter must learn to fend for herself in a world that doesn't recognize her agency as danger. Intrigue and betrayal swirl around her in the wake of Prince John's visit to Nottingham. Never before seen mysteries confront Everard Blackthorne, the sheriff of Nottingham, culminating in an investigation that will lead directly into the climactic events of Nottingham Volume 3. Number 9 on the list, we're going over to Sumerian Comics for Neverender, The Final Duels. Number 2 of 3 from Devon Craft. Neverender and Radio are on a collision course with G High as he barrels towards Blackstar, the number 1 fighter station. This one-way trip signals the end as Merrick learns more about Blackstar, a former monk who destroyed his own temple to serve the colonial republic. Ideologies clash in the penultimate issue of Neverender. Number 8 on the list, we're going back to Mad Cave Studios for Dahlia in the Dark, issue number 5 of 6 from Joe Corallo and Andrea Milana. The past has caught up to Donnie and Maya. With each new gunshot and revelation, they reluctantly recognize they can't keep running. In this penultimate action-packed issue, they're forced to confront themselves, their history, and others as the future of two worlds hangs in the balance. Dahlia in the Dark's fast-paced action fantasy thriller about family and hidden truths. Ringo Award winner and Eisner-nominated author Joe Corallo joins rising star artist Andre Milana for an all-original miniseries that will take readers on one wild ride. This is issue 5 of 6, so if you haven't got on this, hop on it now or get that trade paperback in a couple months when that will release. Number 7 on the list, we're going to Vault Comics for Door to Door, Night by Night, number 5 from Colin Bunn and Sally Cantorino. Something evil, something hungry lurks in the cold darkness of Bear Creek, and it's up to our misfit sales team to destroy the vicious creatures. You know what that means. Fishing trip. So many great books that have just been ongoing for a while now are on this list, and then we got two new ones, maybe 3 new ones on here. But it's another great week for indie comics. So if you're liking what you've seen on this video so far, or you want to see more indie comics content, hit that subscribe button down below and hit a like on the video. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you are looking forward to picking up this new comic book day, whether it's indie comics or Marvel, DC, whatever you're picking up. Number 6 on the list this week is one of those new ones. It is coming from Image Comics, and it is Deep Cuts number 1 from Kyle Higgins, Joe Clark, and Danilo Beyruth. Reason this one is on my list is the location and a little bit of the content of the story. But New Orleans, 1917, the city's bustling red light district. A young clarinet player lands a job with his hero. But he'll soon discover that there is more to the music business than playing the right notes. Join writers Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark and an all-star cast of artists for 6 double-length issues that weave stories of struggle, joy, and hope through the history of jazz. Register Pitch, a whip-smart new miniseries that's perfect for music fans searching for a story with depth and redemption. Number 5 on my list, we are going over to AWA for the last issue of Trojan. We got issue 4 of 4 from Daniel Cross and Lacey and Marco Lesko with another killer cover from Jeff DeCall. Once upon a time, we lived alongside legends, creatures of myth, centaurs, fauns, gorgons, kelpies, gnomes, and more. They were spectacular, majestic, powerful, peaceful, pure. In comparison, we were ugly, weak, warmongering, rotten. Is it any wonder we could not live alongside them any longer? After driving these legends to the fringes of society, an uglier form of mythos takes shape in the form of rumors of live snuff shows for dark web high rollers. When a mysterious young woman, Nessa, enlists the help of a hacker to take a tour of the grisliest corners of the dark web, she sets in motion a war between those who peddle to mankind's darkest fantasies in a world that transcends imagination. Trojan is a fantasy thriller full of wonder and horror in equal measure. In this concluding issue, Nessa goes live in what might be the final appearance of her life. And let me just say, who Nessa is fantastic, and the character arc that we're seeing so far with Nessa is fantastic. I am really enjoying this. I love this dark fantasy thriller we got happening here, and can't wait to see how this wraps up in issue number 4. And speaking of number 4 on the list is going to Boom Studios for The Neighbors, issue number 2. From Jude Ellison S. Doyle and Letizia Cardanici, I absolutely loved issue number 1 of this series. I think this is going some great places. And we've got some previews pages up on the Previews World website for this. So go check out that for issue number 2. And what's going on in this one? Casey's uncanny behavior and obsessive interest in her younger sister raises suspicion in Oliver as he spirals into further paranoia that his stepdaughter and their neighbors aren't who they claim to be. Oliver's fear becomes so overwhelming, in fact, that Janet's family must fight to keep themselves sane as the outside world becomes increasingly monstrous. And number 3 on the list this week, we're going to Scout Comics for issue number 8 of By the Horns Dark Earth, second issue of this arc, from Marcus Nasso and Jason Muir and Steve Cannon on the colors. The blight continues to spread across Salathis as the Oggernaut repairs near completion, and Yunma's plan for the continent begins to take shape. Across the ocean in Awahakan, Shinora, Zealand, her companions stir up trouble while searching for a way to catch up to Elodie. I just read this one right before filming this, and again, another killer issue of By the Horns Dark Earth. If you haven't picked up any By the Horns yet, please do yourself a favor, pick up the first volume from Scout Comics. Phenomenal fantasy story with very high emotional tie-in to it. Just so well done. This issue, we pick up from where things left off in the last issue of just a entire issue of splash pages and a beautifully written story about our team of characters. And this one picks up from there, but also we're following 3 different plot lines going on. The people following Elodie and company, and then back on Salathis as people from the village are trying to do something about what's happening to the Oggernaut and seeing if they can stop it. And then I guess we also have the viewpoint of what's going on the Oggernaut right now. So lots of plot lines happening in this arc, kind of coming together. I feel like we're going to see several things collide in the upcoming issues, but this one leaves us on a bit of a cliffhanger, of course. So strap in for some more fantasy fun in issue number 8 there. Number 2 on my list this week, we're going over to Sumerian Comics for Pop Scars number 2 from Pat O'Malley and Santagian. I have read this one as well. I backed this on Kickstarter. And then from this point on, after this, I have not read any more Pop Scars, but I absolutely love these first 2 issues of Pop Scars. It's fantastic, fantastic time. This one, Pinky's kill mission on Harry takes a 180 as she joins his freak team, posing as an ally to assist in Harry's own revenge plan on ex-production partner Vincent. As Pinky tries to stay cool undercover, Harry's first assignment sends her right into the dark, violent corners of Hollywood. This is a great revenge story that's going to have lots of cinematic twists, so just, yeah, pick this up and be ready for a twisty turny story that is going to have you wondering who's on whose side and who's trying to get revenge on who. I loved first issue, rereading it recently, and I'm excited for issue number 2 coming out here. And my number 1 pick this week is going to a book from Literati Press. This is Silence, issue number 1 from Devin Kraft. In this extraordinary rock and roll mythology mashup, Johanna Jones returns to her hometown of Anthem, a down on its luck shipping town, to discover the ship her father sailed on has gone missing. She ends up aboard a yellow submarine named the Heart of Gold, headed directly into Hades' Hexagon to find the missing crew, accompanied by her childhood best friend, a rich young addict and a punk legend. I feel like that just says it all right there and has me so excited for this one coming out. And Literati Press is a great small independent publisher. And if you haven't checked them out yet, you should. We Promise Utopia was a fantastic story. We've got the first volume of that out, and they just had the second volume backed on Kickstarter. So we should be seeing that one come out, I feel like, later this year, maybe into 2024 at the latest. But yeah, small publisher, great stories, and my number 1 pick this week is going to them. And that wraps out my top 10 for the week. Lots of other great things coming out this week, like Behold Behemoth, Grimm. Um, there's several others. Indigo Children. I just read the first issue of that finally and really enjoyed it. So now I'm probably going to be picking that one up as well. So lots of great stories, lots of great indie comics. And as always, collect what you love. See you next time.